Good looking watch, and honestly the steel finishing looks remarkable. I'll take some macro shots in a minute. Yeah, right up there with San Martin for sure. The brushing is beautiful. Polished surfaces seem really sharp and crisp, and the transitions between the two on the case and on that bezel in particular, yeah, let me zoom in now. Yeah, looks pretty impressive, doesn't it? Yeah, no overbrushing that I can see. Beautifully sharp lines. Yeah, looks impressive. Might as well stay zoomed in as I'm here. Yeah, very nice dial as well. I think I'm definitely going to prefer this option with the printed logo. And yeah, look at those applied indices. They're framed, but sort of white frames. And you've got a white frame around the hands, contrasting fantastically well on this fairly simple matte, sort of dark grey or black dial. Splash of colour, GMT above the 6, and that yellow GMT hand, NH34 powered GMT. So yeah, you should be familiar with it by now. You can wind it up. First position does the date and the GMT hand, and then second position adjusts the time. So yeah, very cool. And I'm going to continue to show you the steel finishing because I think it's well worth it. The brushing on the bracelet looks really nice. Polishing down the sides of the bracelet. I need to give them a wipe, but yeah, it looks good. And yeah, I'm really pleased, actually, really pleased. Because I always get excited when Cronos release new watches, but I'm also always a little bit nervous because I just think, oh, what are they going to get wrong? But on this occasion, they don't seem to be getting anything wrong, which is amazing news. Right, let's have a look at the lume. The lume on this particular watch compared to the lume with the other dial is supposed to be better, according to their listing on AliExpress. So, yeah, let's take a look at the lume. Right, usual test, you know the drill by now. Yeah, there's the lume, the initial lume shot. Looks pretty good. BGW9 looks very strong on the hands. Now going to let the clock run down, or the time run down for 5 minutes, and we'll see how much it degrades. Right, the 5 minutes are up, and yeah, there's no denying it. The lume is pretty decent, isn't it? The hands look particularly strong, actually, but yeah, a little bit of lume degradation over the 5 minute period, which we would expect, but it's still very visible. So yeah, good lume. Right, before I pop it on the wrist, let me just run through a few more specifications. Solid end links, solid links. The clasp has milled inner elements. The outer shell is, well, it looks pretty decent, doesn't it? It's certainly substantial, almost certainly pressed, but very nicely finished. So, yeah, very nice bracelet. Screw down case back, screw down crown. Nothing on the case back. The logo on the crown, 200 meters of water resistance, a fixed 24-hour bezel, because this is of course a GMT watch, so that yellow hand is really pointing to the bezel, and the hour hand is obviously pointing to the normal markers on the dial. Sapphire crystal with blue AR coating. You can see the blue AR coating there. Look, yeah, double domed box crystal. Gives the watch a little bit of height and presence for sure. I'll pop it on the wrist in a moment, but yeah, it doesn't look too oversized or comical, does it? It's certainly a watch that's supposed to have a bit of presence on your wrist. It's going to suit average to larger than average wrists, and you know, down to slightly smaller than average wrists. Right, yeah, let's get it on the wrist. Right, here it is then on my roughly average sized wrist. Yeah, there's definitely some presence to this watch. Doesn't sit too high, doesn't sit off my wrist. Obviously with that crystal there's a little bit of height to it, but with it being sapphire, should be fairly durable. And yeah, it's comfortable enough. Decent weight distribution because you've got solid links and a fairly substantial clasp. So yeah, it's a good looking watch. Oh man, I'm so relieved. I really am so pleased. I want Cronos to do well because they are, or they do make very nicely made watches. And it's just nice to have a second option if you're really interested in beautifully finished watches. Sometimes it feels like the only option is San Martin, but when Cronos produce watches like this, it does feel like yeah, there's a second option. I've put some facts and figures and stats and stuff in the bottom right hand corner there. So